Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Janine Between the Lines, Literature and Lifestyle for Leisure. Welcome back to another Sunday hang. I am so excited to bring you today's episode. I had the pleasure of bringing on one of my dearest, darlingest friends. She is a Maine native, and she is just a wonder and a spectacle to behold in itself. Her name's Olivia. You'll meet her later on. We have this amazing conversation about finding your people and finding and pursuing your passions. And Jesus Christ, we talked for like almost 3 hours. So this is going to be a 2-part series. And yeah, I'm just so excited to share this with you. I think that so many people are going to resonate with this. And I just feel so grateful to have the people that I do in my life, including you guys who are watching. So if you end up liking this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and leave a comment if there's anything that like resonates with you, or if there's anything else that you'd like us or myself to talk about. So I love you guys. I hope you enjoy the episode, and stay tuned and let's get into it.
Okay.
Got a turkey sandwich. That was good.
Yum.
Sea salt in Cape Elizabeth.
How was your weekend otherwise?
I've had a pretty slow weekend. I had the meeting with Mome. So we just like met all of the instructors and everything. I hadn't met them in person yet.
Okay.
So that was really nice, but it was just like quick intros, going over some stuff they need to download. That was it. Coffee.
Oh my God, I love that. That's so exciting.
So, yeah.
I can't believe that you get to put your name like on a startup.
Isn't that insane? And also that it's Pilates, because that's where we met.
Yeah.
We met at Pilates
We
studio.
met at Pilates. You're subconsciously segueing on how I wanted to start this.
Oh my gosh.
So I need to tell everyone real quick.
Okay.
There's a reason why you're like my first lady guests
Oh my God.
of this season.
I'm the first lady.
So like in my mind, I have to give a shout out to Liz Adley.
Have to.
When
Love
we
you.
love you. When we did that like Pilates day and we had that yap sesh just in that lobby,
Yeah.
I attribute my like reigniting my spark to being with you guys and talking it out and like you guys getting excited. And in my mind, I was just like developing this idea of like, I want to, like my Sunday hangs that I'm doing now, I just want to bring people in who just inspire me.
Oh my God.
And yeah, I was like, once I get what I needed to get done, like setup wise, I was like, I have to have Olivia on, because you in general, and I know we've talked about it before, but like you have no idea. It like baffles me that I get to be your friend and you inspire me like in so many ways. So there's like a whole talk that we need to have of like how you have made me a better person, and you make like my living experience here and living in Maine just like so much better.
I'm getting emotional right now.
You goosebumps?
I literally could cry.
Yeah, I mean like truly.
Janine.
And I think that it's important to talk about how we met,
Yeah.
because, you know, the episode you'll see in the title, it's all about like finding your people and
Yeah.
finding your passions. And I want to hear your impression about how we first met and how you were like feeling about me. And sussing
I was
me
feeling
out.
her up. Okay, so I mean, I saw you a couple times in classes.
Yeah.
So
So
it
was that
was-
2 years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
It could have been over. Was it over 2 years ago?
It might have been over 2 years ago.
Yeah. Did you had the unlimited membership?
I did.
And I did too. And I was I was at like one of my most anxious peaks in life back then. And I was just like attending classes by myself because I was like, I need to put myself out there. I need to do things on my own.
Yes.
And so I didn't have any friends that I was going to class with. I was just like doing my thing and leaving. And then I saw you and you just looked like a friendly face. Like I was just like, oh my God, like I want to talk to her at some point. And so, and then I think one day I was just like, hey, do you want to set up right next to me? Or like, or did I go next to you? It was something like that.
No, yeah, you came up right next to me. I was literally in the back and you had already set up in the front.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what
Guys,
it was.
there was so much room all around the room. So when she
Literally
was
3
like,
people.
when she was like, hey, can I sit up right next to you? I was like, oh, okay. And I don't think you realize how excited I was.
Really?
Yes.
I was excited.
And I'm glad you did. Like, you #slid. And
I really did.
it
slide
made
into-
me feel like better than you think, because I didn't know that for you, that you were at your most anxious state. I was at my most probably unfit state and like unhealthy state since moving. And
just in the physical sense, or like mentally you felt like
I think mentally as well, and it like tied into both of them, because I was going to Salud to also like find a new way of movement that I loved, and it was still so new to me, and I was still super insecure, and that was like the beginning of me just like re-falling in love and making that a consistent thing. So like, yeah, isn't that crazy?
That is insane. So it's almost like, well, that's where I think like everything happens the way it's meant to, and all in divine timing, because I think we both needed each other at that time.
We did.
Yeah. It was like perfect.
Guys, our cycles are synced too, so if we start crying,
We Bluetoothed. Yeah. We Bluetoothed. Yeah.
Our uteruses just like, and it's auto connect, like we're just in each other's vicinity. It's so funny.
It's true.
Well, the thing is like, okay, I need you to tell the world how old you are too.
So I'm 22, almost 23. I feel like a child when I say like, I'm 22 and 3/4. No, but my birthday's May 13th, so I'm almost 23.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's coming right up.
Oh my God, yeah, that is coming right up. So that was one thing that also shocked me. So like,
yeah, so when I met you, I was 21.
She was freshly 21.
Out of the womb.
Did you know that you're my youngest like person I consider one of my closest friends here?
Really?
I think you take the cake. You were the youngest like friend that I have, like in general, that I like consistently talk to and like connect with.
Yeah.
I'm not your oldest friend, am I? I'm turning 30.
I mean, like,
dude, I might be.
No, like you might. Well, Liz is 30.
Liz is 30?
Wait.
No, she's not.
No, she's 29.
She's like,
I'm not trying to out you, Liz.
Liz is like 25, 26, I think.
No, she's 29.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah.
No freaking way.
Yeah.
I put you guys in the same age category.
Well, I feel like, so I would like to say I'm more mature for my age, but like you're extremely mature, but like you know how to have fun and be young and not too serious too. And that's why we like both meet each other halfway and like we're able to connect so easily.
Okay, I think so too.
Yeah.
And I literally wrote down like there's this weird dichotomy of you not only making me feel young, like I feel the same way. I feel like we're the same age.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we weirdly meet in the middle, because I do think you are far more mature than I was when I was your age. And I don't mean to say that like I'm so old. Well, I'm not. I know I'm not that old, but like,
no, you're very young.
I imagine myself at like 21, 22 years old. You have shown so much like emotional maturity too. Like when we talk to each other about problems or anything like that, I'm like, how do you have this much wisdom at this age? But like at the same time, yeah, it's like I feel like it's like an ever-changing thing where I can feel like a big sister to you in some ways, but then I also feel like a twin.
Yes.
And like we are the same way, like especially like we still like go out and like party the same.
Yeah.
I know we don't do that as frequently,
Yeah.
but like we would be able to go out and have a good time as if we were still 21 years old, you know?
I have the best time with you, by the way, when we go out. Like, it's very, like, we don't do that often because, I mean, we've always focused on, like, it's more so bettering ourselves. Like, we've always, that's been, like, our relationship, what it's been built on. But we've had, like, our times where we've let loose together, and it's a blast. Like, literally feeding for it right now.
I want to, now that we're talking about it, and, yeah, I kind of got FOMO when you went to Boston, because I was like, we need to go to Boston together.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I don't know when, because like both of our lives are like, we're probably in the busiest season of our lives.
I know. Definitely you.
You too.
Well, me too, but
Oh my
like
God, totally
you
too.
more so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the whole year. Like, I mean, planning everything out, like that takes a lot.
Yeah, I think so. And
So
But you know, we'll find time.
We're gonna find time.
And
You're a person like I always want to prioritize in this life, because you, like you were just saying, like you're a role model to me. Like I idolize you in so many different aspects for your strength, wisdom, kindness, how thoughtful you are, caring, like everything, your intelligence, like everything. But like then, like you said, like you feel like a sister to me.
yeah,
Like we're just
definitely
sister best friends kind of thing. And like I can talk to you about anything and there's like no judgment, and like we're on the same playing field. Like when we're just having conversations, we can talk about anything and like just have a blast. It can be light and easy or serious. Like it doesn't matter what it is, but you always meet me. So
you're the manifestation of like a girl crush IRL becoming a best friend. Because, dude, I'm not gonna lie, she's sitting down right now, but she's got a fatty up in there. She's like, I would look at you with those mirrors.
Dude, I didn't want to say
You wanna
it,
see
but someone
her?
needed to. Like,
You check out both of our Instagrams. You'll see the receipts that I'm talking about. But literally, like, I would be Myron from behind,
Oh
you
my
know?
God.
And like to think that has turned into, and it was like, again, it was divine timing, but also the fact of like us both putting ourselves out there
yeah,
when we needed to.
right.
And that just started like a crazy like love affair since then. Not
I
only
agree.
just with like us getting closer, but like movement in general,
Yes.
which I feel like that's important to talk about too. So like, had you ever done Pilates formally before you went to Salute?
No, my
Oh,
first
okay.
ever class was with Reformer.
Okay.
And that was when I just got the membership. Like, I don't even know. I think I did like maybe a drop-in free class. And then I was like, I'm just going to get the membership. And so I had no experience with it. Didn't know anyone in the community for Pilates. I honestly didn't know anyone like that I was friends with that had ever done Pilates in their life. So it was completely brand new.
Same.
Yeah.
I think
What made you want to do it then?
I think what made me want to was like the nutrition program that I was on.
Okay.
It encouraged like low intensity movement,
Yeah.
like kind of to combat the thought process behind that was like if you're doing like CrossFit or high intensity interval training or even like just high calorie burning exercise, it was less, depending on your discipline level, you were less able to sustain that and consistently do that over and over while still being able to stay on a meal plan, because the more that you burn, like the hungrier you would get and you would be more susceptible to like overeating at that point in time. So more consistent low intensity movement was the priority over just like 2 or 3 times a week of like high intensity exercise.
Right.
So then I was just like, okay. And one of my coworkers went to Salute at that time.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, yeah, you should definitely try this. And then that's kind of what put me in there. And then I think I did a mat class, and then I did a reformer, and then we just started. I was familiar with like strength.
Yeah.
So that's what started me like going to strength consistently.
Yeah.
So
did we meet at strength
I
or
believe
mat Pilates?
it was in my head. It was one of the two, because I
Yeah.
like distinctly remember like grabbing ankle weights.
Okay.
And I was like, dang, she's using the 3-pounders.
Yeah, go get her. I
like,
probably
dude.
was like sweating through everything.
Dude,
too.
I mean, we both were.
That's good
And
though.
I feel like, and a shout out to like our grassroots Salute too, because that was the beginning of like it's such a great environment to be around, like people and women, not only who are of different, like very diverse body sizes and strength levels and all of that, but it was so much less, it wasn't intimidating. I feel like
yeah, I didn't feel intimidated.
everyone is always most of the time very welcoming, and like you don't feel as I never felt like as secure in my body that I did when I was at Salute. Like I had never worked out before at all, like in a sports bra in my life.
Oh, seriously?
No, legit. Like I was super insecure like until
You were
I
doing
started.
that all year with us.
I know.
Shout out Megan, by the way.
Megan, we
used to-
love you.
We love you. We used to work out with Megan too. It was a little
Megan slid hard
threesome.
too. Yeah, like she was like, y'all want to hang out? Do you
Yeah.
want to get coffee? Like after?
I love it. I love forward friendships. You just so direct.
What a great conversation we're about to have. Do you realize
So
this?
excited. It's already been great.
I mean, it's already been great.
Yeah.
But like, I think that the reason why I wanted you on is because, one, I love you and you're an inspiring person, and we're going to dive into so much more of how that has transpired, but also like post pandemic and in this crazy world that we're in right now, regardless of our age gap and regardless of like what generation we're in right now, like it's hard enough already to like find your people and like be confident enough to like pursue your passions.
Yeah.
So even though we're just freaking regular people, I consider you somebody who's like in the process of making it, you know what I mean? And like, I just think it's important for people to hear that regular people can do it, and you're doing it right now. And we have like insight that is important to hear. So that's what the episode is going to be about. We're going to take like a 15-minute and then I think we'll be back and we'll just talk about our first portion is just going to talk about finding our people in general.
Okay.
And we'll freaking go from there. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. We'll be
So
back.
excited.
Okay. Bye. 1 sec. Okay. We're back. The most intense stare. Just we're back. Yeah, we should have recorded the rest of that, but that's okay.
No, that's all right.
One of these days, I'll
It's
just
like, how
keep
much
it
can you
going.
edit, though?
Exactly.
It would
And
be a
then
lot
just
for
have
me.
an outtakes.
I think
know?
it would be all outtakes.
Oh.
You're like, I can't post this actually.
Subscribe to hear all like the inappropriate stuff.
Yeah.
TBD.
The
We'll
exclusive
keep an eye on that.
clips.
I think it's just since we started talking about like how we met, how we connected, how we're close now. I think, well, one thing that we used to talk about a lot was like, I know we talked about it in the context of dating, but I think I just wanted to mention like when you graduated college, you graduated during mid-pandemic or towards the end of the pandemic?
College?
Mm-hmm.
College was after the pandemic.
After the pandemic. Okay.
High school, when I graduated, was during the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Like peak.
How was that for you?
Horrible.
Please expand.
It was a very isolating time for me. Actually, that's when my anxiety started up real bad.
Yeah.
So, I was in a long-term relationship and the guy was doo-doo and he was just horrible.
Yeah.
Like horrible at the end. And I was starting to realize that the friends I had were like shallow level friendships where you could have fun, but like we couldn't connect on a deeper level. So I didn't feel satisfied or fulfilled with my friendships or my relationship. And then the pandemic hits, which we're all at home. We're not doing anything. You're not talking to anybody. And so then you're going off to college with like no relationships whatsoever back home, not knowing how to meet people because you can't like...
You were like forced not to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you weren't attending actual classes. You were living alone in your dorm room. You had to wear a mask. You couldn't really invite people into your dorm room.
Oh my God.
So like for a while, I was just like, I felt at rock bottom mentally. Like I felt like a shell of myself and I didn't know how to converse with people properly. I lost like all my confidence. So that was really tough actually. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And you would never know. An outside person would never know that meeting you because again, I feel like you're such a golden personality trait about you is that like you exude confidence without being like cocky or full of yourself, which you have reason to be, you know. In my mind, you do.
I actually have a God complex.
And I need to be like kicked down a peg. So leave me mean comments.
Like humble me.
But seriously, like that's one of the things that I highly admire about you too.
Thank you.
And I'm just wondering if you had like, how do you think you have either pulled yourself out of that or how have you improved yourself like since then? Like how has, you know, time's gone by and I know there's been growth in so many aspects. So like how did you like intentionally pull yourself out of that rock bottom that you were in?
I think the biggest thing for me was honestly like exposure therapy.
Oh,
Like forcing myself to do the most uncomfortable things, which everything at that point was uncomfortable.
yeah.
I didn't want to go to the grocery store and run into people. I didn't want to go talk to people. I was like pretty much like hiding myself from the world for a little bit, which is like something I haven't really talked about with many people. Like I know like my family knows that.
Yeah.
But that was like happening. I mean, especially when I came back from college, actually,
Okay.
because I went to Emmanuel College. I came back and I'm like, I'm back in my hometown. Like, I feel like I didn't succeed. Like, I feel like I haven't grown at all as a person. So that
Wow.
made things even worse. And so I got to a point where I'm like, this is not the way to live. Like, this is not the way I was living before.
Yeah.
And I want to have like an even like open even more opportunities for myself than what I had before. So I was like, I need to be doing things.
Yes.
So I started, Salute was one of the big things. I signed up. I was like, I don't want to know anyone going into it because I want to force myself to meet people.
Love that.
And then I started, you know, joining other things at like the college and stuff, like other groups. And I was really just putting myself out there with work and everything. I was working at Becky's Diner.
Yep.
So it was a lot of young people. I was a waitress. So like you had to
The
talk
waitress
to
era.
everybody. Like I was like, oh, if this isn't exposure therapy, like I don't know what
I
it
don't
is.
know what it
like
is.
I have
Yeah.
to talk to people 24/7. And so doing all of those things gave me such anxiety in the beginning. But then it just kept getting easier and easier. And I realized like it's not that bad. Like the mental clarity I feel now, like I could approach anybody on the streets and be like,
God, I know.
let's talk. Like let's sit down and talk for hours.
Okay. Come here.
Like, yeah, come on and sit down and tell me about your life story. Like, I want to hear it.
Oh my God, I love that.
But yeah, so it was really just like anything that I thought was uncomfortable, I knew I needed to do. Like, I forced myself because nobody else was going to force me. No one could. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be convinced by other people.
No, like if your body, like you as a person are going, either you're going to do something or you're not. And that kind of goes hand in hand with like, you know, you can't really change people.
Right.
Like you have already decided in your head whether something's going to happen or not.
Exactly.
But also, well, you know what's something funny is like you're literally like taking from my notes. Did you like hack into my phone and pull out my tips of finding your people?
Yes, I've actually been able to see your
Oh.
phone like for the last 2 years. I receive every text you get.
Is that like, so for like, let's say the question that I was going to pose to you is like, because I was a transplant Mainer, like
Mhm.
I didn't know anybody moving here or anything, and you are a born and raised local South Portlander.
Yeah.
So my question, which I guess you've kind of half answered, I'm guessing that's one of your tips, but like for someone who is in a new place, in a new city, looking to find their people, like what is a tip or two you would give them to do that?
Yeah, I think the best thing you can do is put yourself out there, but be the first one to start the convo.
Oh.
Don't wait for other
okay.
people to find
Don't
you.
wait. Okay.
Yeah, you can go and approach someone and then see if they have a similar vibe to you. If they don't, that's fine. You just had like probably a pleasant little combo and then you move on with your life and then you
Yeah.
keep doing that till you meet your people. It's playing the odds. Like it's literally gambling. It's like you just have to play the odds. Like
Yeah, you're very right.
start the convo. And honestly, like I've respected those people who have come up to me and they're vibrant and they're just like, hey, how are you? Or like, I like what you're wearing. Like simple
Yes,
things, but just like the
yes.
icebreakers and they didn't need to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
It's kind of just a nod to humanity too.
Yes.
Like having to pull that back out of people, because I think a little bit of that courtesy and just like public kindness was lost with COVID
Yeah.
as well. It's like you have a mask on, you don't have really initiative to go up to someone if you didn't have to because you had to stay how many
Right.
feet away. And then like, yeah, I
Which
totally
I
agree with that.
abused. I abused when I was anxious. It was the perfect time for me to like hide.
Yes,
Yeah,
to
to
like draw
pull back.
into yourself. Okay.
Exactly.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
I literally, my first tip that I put down was hashtag kind of corny, but get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Like, as someone, I guess there's an anxious portion in me that relates to you with that. But like when I travel nursed for the first time, I was like fiercely independent, but almost like to a fault. Like I didn't want to interact much and like make too many like close friends just because I knew I was going to be leaving in like 3 months.
Right.
And it wasn't until I came to Maine, where I knew I would be for at least a few years, I was like, okay, so I do have to like meet people who aren't just Teddy, okay, that aren't my coworkers. See, that's the thing too. Like I would be like kind of reliant on like my profession and like worked for like me to like meet people, and I'm not really
the most convenient.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like you're in high school, like you are in proximity with the same people where you actually are like you can get to know them but you're all expected to be there at one time.
Right.
So like, well, that was actually going to be a question I want to ask you earlier. Like, are you pretty close with any of your friends from like high school or anything? Like, are people that are around here?
None.
Like,
okay. I don't have anything against anyone in my high school. Like, I think amazing people came out of it. I just didn't have a lot in common with lots of the people that I left high school with at the time. But the thing is like, those people could be completely different. I'm different.
Yeah.
We're all
different people. Yeah.
Exactly. So when I see them in, like, if I'm out and about and I see them, I'm excited to run into those people again.
Yeah.
Which shows growth, because I didn't want to run into anybody before. Not a personal thing. It was me. Mm-hmm. It's always what someone else is going through. It's never a personal thing.
Yeah.
So I was always like trying to hide from those people, not because I didn't like them. I just didn't feel like I wanted to talk about what was going on in my life. But like, if I ran into some of those people now, I know they're a little different and I probably would get along really well with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I actually don't have any really like lifelong friends other than one of my friends, Molly, who we were babies when we were friends, but we weren't close like our whole lives up until our adult lives right now.
That's amazing.
Which is crazy.
Well, I relate to that hard too. I can count on one finger. Actually, I'm trying to think of like all my guests at the wedding. Like my best friend, Abby, I've known her since 10th grade. Mm-hmm. And she's like the only person that I like friend that I've kept in contact with that still lives in Florida. Yeah. That is like still a big part of my life.
Yeah.
Which that's crazy to think about.
But it's also rare to even come out with one. Like, I think it almost seems normalized that you should have like your core friends that you grew up with. And it's like you have the history. You guys know each other well because you grew up with each other. But like you didn't even know yourself really back then.
Exactly.
So there's lots of change, and you can always hold on to like the history and those memories. But you might be completely different people, and they might still be your core people. But I think in your adult life, when you really get to know yourself, like the people who are most similar to you are the ones who gravitate towards you in your adult life.
100%.
Yeah.
Like I said, are you sure you're 23?
I'm 45.
Like I didn't have that knowledge like at your age. Like at your age, I was still like, you know, getting worked up about like the reason why I started this podcast. I don't know if you know this, but like I wanted to talk about books, but two, I was doing like life updates while I was away from Florida. Really? And I was like, I would send it to all my friends and be like, this is their way that they can keep up with me and what's going on with my life without me having to like either call them, but I just want them to know that I'm still like thinking of them.
Yeah.
And, you know, I also feel the same way. Like I still, like if I went back home and I saw them like, you know, on the streets, like I don't know why I thought that was like gangsters. But like if I like ran into them in Florida, like of course, like I'd be super excited. But you're so right. Like if I look back and think about the person who I was in high school and in college, like those are completely different people in the best way possible.
Right. It's not like a right or wrong thing or like good or bad. Like it's just like different people.
Yes,
you're just different
100%.
people throughout different phases of your life. And I do have to say, like, your frontal lobe developing, it's so true because it's like I can feel it.
Yes.
I can literally feel like that clarity. Like you're just like, oh my God, like that's obvious. Like why I wouldn't do that or why I would do that. But it's like I thought I was mature like years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I probably wouldn't know how to approach that the same way, like
100%.
process it the same way.
And
That's science.
and
It's very
that's
scientific. I won't get into it.
Yeah, don't check my references. But you're right though.
Yeah.
Like and back then you used to get so like worked up about, I say you, but me, but like I'm still a little bit indecisive, but when it comes to people and my friends and relationships and stuff, like I'm so different now in terms of like putting my foot down on what I can tolerate in a friendship or relationship. Like the people that I vibe with, like we're not out here trying to like put a front and act like someone we're not.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so much simpler to be like at peace with yourself and really get to know yourself first, and then that's how you kind of attract your people. Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah. And then since basically our first collective tip was literally the same.
Yeah.
This is my second one, okay?
Okay.
Tell me if you agree. Embrace being a yes man or woman or human within reason.
I completely agree with that.
Right?
But I want to hear like why you think that's a good tip.
So I was not. And, you know, I attributed that to like, well, one, I was comfortable like for a while, like with myself. I'd say when I moved here, I did make like a small group of friends, and then I would do everything like with those friends.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've ever talked about this, like at least online. But like as the years have gone by living here, I got really comfortable with that. We didn't really do anything much or experience new things. And I think that a few of those friendships I've grown out of a little bit, which has been a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like yielded its way into like newer friendships and people that are like open to doing new things. And like, I guess ultimately what I want to bring that to is like maybe some of the closest people that I know now would like invite me to things that I've never done before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay, sounds good. And like, I get like a little bit of those nerves still of like, I don't know if you can relate to this, but I'm pretty competitive.
I also am a competitive
we are like
person.
the most competitive
I'm more competitive
people.
than Janine, actually.
Yeah, actually, no.
I'd say I'm the most competitive.
And that's why we relate too. Like we're way too competitive in the best way. But like being able to, and again, I keep bringing it back to Pilates, but just trying new things in general. Like I was in such a comfortable bubble, and there was no way that I could have met the people that I know now if I just stuck to the one thing that I was familiar with. You know what I mean? Like if you, like even with my book club, like a lot of people that come to book club are like on their first time, they're super nervous, or they're like, oh, like I saw you guys online and I wanted to come, and you know, they don't know anyone yet, but like they are putting themselves out there and trying something new and like saying yes to something that originally they wouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the best part of book club now is like we're all just a group of gals who just like to sit around and talk about books and yap.
That's so
and like
cute.
we've like made just amazing connections and friends through it. So I think just like what you said, you never know what's going to come out of it, but like
Right.
but also what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
If you say yes to something, you can charge it to your experience card, you know, and then like
Call it a mulligan,
Yeah.
or you say like I'm moving forward with this.
Yeah. If it wasn't something that you enjoyed, great, but you could say that you tried something new. Like where's the harm in that, unless you're doing something like extreme sports, you know?
Right. Or drugs. So I mean,
Or drugs.
or drugs. Don't do drugs.
You know, like I feel like that's super important. And it's not something, again, I gotta stop bringing up the age thing, but like at my age, like it's hard to find people who are trying new things, because a lot of people are getting married, having babies. They're like
Getting set in their ways.
in that home era.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in like a baby soft girl era, but that doesn't mean that I'm like not wanting to try new things or anything like that.
That's what I admire about you. Like, I do think you're a yes woman to an extent, because obviously, like, you know what you like and everything. And then the things that you don't, maybe, like, you're willing to experience.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think that's something that just, like, I almost feel like it's either something you learn or it's innate, because you're one of those people that will be continuing to do new things and, like,
100%.
freshen up your life, like, all the time. You're not just going to be like, you're getting married soon. You're not going to be like, okay, now I'm married. Like, it's just career.
Yeah.
Like, working out, boom. Like,
yes.
You have just a routine and you're like, I'm not going to diversify at all.
I just think life is too short for that.
I think so too. You have to live in colors.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
You have to do everything.
Dude, honestly, everything.
Everything.
Did you have like a second tip about meeting new friends?
Yeah, but
okay.
So my second tip was accepting people for where they're at.
Oof.
So I think when we're younger, especially with friendships, you have these expectations, whether you know it or not. They can be subconscious.
I'm hurting right now in the best way.
And you can have these expectations that your friends or people in your relationships don't even realize you have set on them. And you're wanting to almost have them change to mold like what your needs are. But it's like, that's not who they are.
Yep.
So you can't ask for something from someone who isn't capable of giving that or isn't willing to.
Yes.
So you kind of just have to take them for face value. So what I've learned in my adult life is like, if someone's showing me something, I need to believe them. Like, if that's where they can meet me, it's whether I want to take it for what it is. And like, they will either be like a big or small part of my life or not at all. But it's not up to them to mold to fit my life, because it's their life. And it's not up to me to mold to fit somebody else's life. So they need to take me for what I am, and that's on acceptance.
Well, you know, that shiz is heavy.
Yeah, you don't get your hopes up. And
Yeah.
like, then you don't put pressure as much on relationships and stuff, and you can enjoy it more, because if you know you have one friend who's like, maybe I can't have the hard combos with them. Like, they aren't on the same emotional level as me, or they haven't had the same experience. So like, we can't talk about it. Yeah. But they're fun. Then that's my fun going out friend.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go out and we'll have a good time, and that's like what our relationship is. But I enjoy going out once in a while, so I enjoy that friendship. But then like, I want those friends where I can have those deep talks with.
Yeah.
Then I want those friends who it's like, we can go on hikes and we can go exercise, or who wants to cook, or like blah, blah, blah. And then you have those amazing friends that can do like a lot of, like, they're a Swiss Army knife and they can do a lot.
Yeah, the chameleons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you can't expect everyone to be a chameleon.
That is
But they can still be your friend.
True. Yes.
Yes.
You know, I've had great issue with that. Because I don't know if it's my sign or what, but like,
what's your sign?
I don't know. I'm a Leo.
Okay,
I don't
know much about
something
signs,
Leo
though.
rising. I know. I say that. I'm wondering if someone can like interpret me. But like, in the past, I've had a problem with expecting myself out of others.
Okay.
And when it comes to friendships, one thing that is like one of the things that I pride myself on is like being the best friend that I can be to like anyone that I love in my life.
Yeah, you are.
Regardless of like
What you receive.
of what I receive, like regardless of our situation, like I will always give the most for that person, regardless of if they deserve it or not.
So you think to a fault. Like,
yes,
sometimes.
I think to a fault.
Do you think that's people pleasing at all?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
You're just a lover girl who
I'm
cares.
a lover
Like,
girl who would rather like fall on a knife than make anyone feel like I don't value them in a friendship. Or like, if I can't give the people that I consider friends the attention that they deserve, or like I feel like I'm not doing enough and they're feeling like I'm lacking in them as a friend, I would rather die in the past. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, dude, like it was severe. But you know,
it's because you wanted to receive all of that.
Exactly.
So you were almost thinking like,
And then
if
I
I
get
do
sad.
all of this, like,
Then they will love me the way that I love them.
yes.
Yeah.
But most people, honestly, okay, most people are drowning in life.
Yes. And
So
I've
they're just trying to
realized
stay
that
above
now.
the surface. And so even if they want to, they might not have the tools
100%.
or the energy to be able to give you everything you deserve.
Yeah. And the way that I had to learn that the hard way was because of relationships with my family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in terms of me caring so much about like what a family member was doing and what I thought was right or wrong, or they're not meeting me at my level and all this kind of stuff. When in the end, I look back and I've told Teddy about it, like the amount of energy and emotion that I've put into like attempting to get this person to like either feel or act the way I wanted them to, I could have been doing so much more. There's so much. It's just so taxing to like throw yourself in that so much, when it would be so much easier if I had just realized, you know, people will be people and they are doing their own thing and going through their own thing. And it's just like, it took up way too much in my brain and too much time than to actually just like accept that person for what they are and just move on like with my life.
Yeah, and I think most people experience that at least one time in their life. Like, I've definitely experienced that where I've like given up myself too much, and it's almost like I'm fighting for your validation in a way. And this isn't just like romantic relationships.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
it's hard with friendships
like,
too.
I know how good of a person I am, but it's like, do I actually believe that? Because why am I fighting for them to like appreciate me? So, but at the same time, so I'm thinking I'm like an amazing person. Why don't you see that? But it's like not our job to try to convince somebody. And that's where it's like, whenever you feel like that, you know, you need to put more work into yourself. Like, you need to like love yourself more, because like no one else can read your mind. No one else can meet all your needs. You're the only person who is aware of most all of your needs. So it's like about finding ways to fill them yourself. And then everybody else in this life is a bonus. Like, everybody else can just add value to what you already are.
Period.
Period. Sinking.
That's pretty amazing. That's a great insight.
Yeah.
One question before we go on break.
Okay.
Let's say we're in the thick of it. You got a friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you realize that this person's not your people.
Like a close friend?
Yeah. And you realize over time that your values aren't matching up, and spending time with them, like you feel a little bit drained and not like rejuvenated or positive leaving an interaction with them.
What to do?
What advice would you give to someone in that situation?
I think if there was like some kind of falling out where you would have to communicate, then communicate. Like, if things have been rough with you guys and you're close friends and everything, then you should be able to talk through stuff, not be passive aggressive, be pretty direct and honest, but in a respectful way. Because if you're friends with them, you should respect them and their feelings and everything. But like, if you guys are just growing apart and you just don't see where your paths align, then it's okay to like, some things are okay to be like unsaid. Like,
yes,
you just like, it's
Yes.
distancing yourself in a way that's not like, I don't want you in my life, but it's like, we don't have as much in common anymore. So it's like, I wish you well. We'll catch up once in a while, but it's like, you're not going to be in my core inner circle anymore, because you have to like look out for yourself first. And if this person isn't going to like grow with you and help you be your best self, then I don't know if they need to be so close to you.
The let them theory.
Let them.
Mel Robbins.
Robbins.
Haven't read the book, but I figured that's
She's
probably what it's talking about.
Yeah, let them.
I think that that's important too. Like, it's okay to let things fizzle.
Yeah.
And however, like, if it does come to a point where either party is like, what's happening, then it's just honesty and communication at that point.
Right. Like fizzling, but not being avoidant.
Yes.
Like you can't just like, oh, there's tension between us, not going to talk about it, just going to distance myself.
Yeah.
Like it's like if it's naturally and mutually fizzling, that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't wish ill will on the person. It's just like you're not the same anymore. But like if you feel like you need to have a conversation because there is tension and one of you is just like, what's going on? Have the conversation.
Oh, 100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on that point, I'm going to let this fizzle. We're going to go into another break. And then
It's you, Tom.
And then we get to talk about our passions.
Yay.
And our pursuits.
I'm so excited.
And everything else in between.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Okay.